The nature of sound. What is it that we really hear? Whether it's hands clapping or tools banging, airplane engines, or double basses, recycled cans, or a symphonic percussion section. What is it that we're really hearing? Why are some sounds loud, like those trumpets, and others soft, like the harp? For that matter, why do we hear anything at all? You can't see sound, so what is it? Let's become scientists for a moment and see if we can find some answers. Hi, Monique.
Oh, hi, Carl.
How's it going?
Fine.
Good, good. Now that we're here in our laboratory, maybe we can get to the bottom of this. First question, why does anything make any sound at all? What makes sound? Let's do an experiment and see if we can find out. I have a rubber band here, and I'm going to stretch it out. Now, Monique, could you help me with this?
Sure.
Just reach in there and pull it back and let it go. Let's see what happens. All right. What did you notice? Two things, right? Number one, when she let go of the rubber band, it vibrated back and forth. And number two, that vibration created a sound. Listen. From that simple experiment, I think we've found our answer. One way or another, whether it's this stretched rubber band, guitar strings,
or helicopter blades.
sound is made by vibration! Whoa, pretty windy out there. Well, anyway, now we know what makes sound, but that still doesn't explain why or how we hear it. So let's look for some more clues. If you know that you're about to hear something really, really loud, what's one of the first things that you might do? Right, cover your ears. But why? What was I covering them from? We all know that we hear with our ears, but why, when something happens all the way across the room, do our ears pick it up all the way back here? The only thing between us and that double bass is what? Well, just the air, and that's the secret. You see, when that double bass string vibrates, it makes the air all around it vibrate too. And from there on, it's just like a relay team at the Olympics. First, the string vibrates, and it does that by moving back and forth. Now that motion passes the vibration on to the air that's right next to it. That air then passes the vibration on to the air that's next to that, and it creates what we call sound waves. These sound waves keep going on and on. They keep passing the vibrations on until they travel all the way across the room and reach our ears. Now, if your ears aren't covered, those vibrations keep right on going until they hit the eardrum. The eardrum then picks up those vibrations and passes them on into the middle ear, where we find three little bones called the hammer, the anvil, and the stirrup. These three tiny bones pick up the vibrations, and they pass them all the way through the inner ear until they finally reach our brain. And that is where the relay ends and the magic begins. You see, every one of you has a brain that is just so incredibly awesome that it can receive all of these different vibrations and in an instant figure them all out and tell you exactly what you're hearing. If the vibrations are big, the sound is loud. If they're small, it's soft. And that's basically how we hear. It's a pretty amazing process. Now that we know how we hear, let's think about what we hear. Everybody knows that this is music. But what about this? Both are sound. So why is one considered music, but not the other? Is it because of the instruments? Well, no instruments here, except for the voices. But aren't these voices too? So what's the difference? This is music, right? But what about this? Now, both are striking something. So why do we call this music, but not this? What do you think? Let's take a minute right now to discuss this in your own classrooms. Why do we call some sounds music, but not others? So, what do you think? Why do we call some sounds music, but not others? Well, one explanation is that these kind of sounds weren't meant to be music. They weren't striking this wood with their hammers and chisels to make specific sounds. They were striking it to change the shape of the wood, to make it into sculptures. These guys, on the other hand, struck these instruments specifically to make sound. They made special sounds at specific times. They did it on purpose, and the purpose was to make music. So, to make any kind of music, and to make it different from just regular noise, you have to make some choices. First, you have to choose what kind of sounds you want to use. Whether it's strings, or woodwinds, brass, percussion, or any other kind of instrument. And then you have to decide how you want to put those sounds together. And the best thing about it is, you can put those sounds together any way you want. It could be classical, or jazz, African, Asian, or Latin. There are as many ways to make music, and as many different kinds of music as you could ever imagine. And that brings us to still another question. Why are there so many different kinds of music? Why doesn't everyone just play rock and roll, or classical, or salsa for that matter? For that matter, why do people play any kind of music at all? Let's take another minute and see if you can come up with an answer to those questions. Why do people make music? And why are there so many different kinds?
I can't help but make music because it goes so far beyond the things that we just touch and see and helps us feel deep inside ourselves.
Music lifts my spirits. It's something everybody can share, and it helps you forget everything bad that's happening in the world.
I play music because it's an international language and everyone can understand it. There's no translation needed.
I play music because it allows me to communicate things to people that I can't with words. And besides, it's a whole lot of fun.
I make music because it makes life more interesting and meaningful. Interesting because it's fun and I enjoy playing it, and meaningful because, like poetry and art, it's a way of expressing yourself and letting your feelings come out.
As you probably just discovered in your own classroom discussions, people make music for lots of different reasons. But I do think that one of the most important reasons is the one we just heard.
Like poetry and art, it's a way of expressing yourself and letting your feelings come out.
From the beginning of time, people have used music to express their feelings, and they still do today. And that's not only here in San Diego, that's everywhere. People from cities and countries around the entire world use music to express their feelings and their emotions and their experiences. But sometimes their experiences can be quite different from ours. People from different countries live in different environments. They have different languages and different cultures and different histories. And so naturally, they're going to come up with their own unique and different kinds of music. But even with all those differences, the one thing that's the same for all of us, no matter what color we are, or what language we speak, or what country we live in, we're all human beings. We all have feelings, and we all have a need to express those feelings one way or another. Music is one way that we can do that. But it's not the only way. And that brings us to our final point for today. It's about something called creativity. Now, as we were just saying, every one of us, every one of you, has things that you think and that you feel. And it's important that you know that those thoughts and feelings really do matter and really can make a difference. But you know how sometimes it's sort of hard to express what you're feeling inside? Well, that's where creativity comes in. All it is finding your own way to express those thoughts and feelings in your own personal style. It could be music, or painting, or writing stories, or dance, or mathematics. Using your own imagination to come up with your own ideas and your own solutions, and then expressing those ideas and solutions in your own unique ways is what people call being creative. Well, the fact is, every one of you is creative. You all have feelings, and you certainly all have something to say. Now you just have to find your own constructive way to say it using your own special talents. I'll show you what I mean.
All right. Right now we're in a recording studio, and we're just about ready to record a rap all about creativity. Now this rap is a sort of call and response kind of thing, so why don't you all join in with us? First I'll say the words, and then you say them back to me. And as we're doing it, we're going to show you students just like yourselves from right here in San Diego who are involved in all kinds of creative activities. So really think about the words you're saying and about what it means, because it's just as possible for every one of you to be creative in your own way as it is for any of the people that you'll see in this film. I am creative. I am creative. I am creative. And I want you to see. I have a lot to say. Inside of me. So let me be creative. In my own way. We all have a talent. We can share every day. I am creative. I am creative.
I am creative and I want you to see. I have a lot to say inside of me. So let me be creative in my own way. We all have a talent we can share every day.
I am creative. creative. I am creative. See you next time when we'll learn all about string instruments from all around the world.